The film begins in the early years of the new millennium, with individuals battling for survival amidst a blaring emergency alarm. The background chatter suggests a sense of betrayal, as if they are being attacked by their own people. Then it shifts to a Russian nuclear facility that is under siege by terrorists. It becomes apparent that Russia possesses nuclear missiles capable of reaching the United States within 24 minutes, leaving the US with a mere 12 minutes to intercept them. On this specific day, a helicopter transporting the highly decorated US Army Captain J.J. Collins touches down on the launch pad. She is greeted by Ensign Washington upon arrival and subsequently meets Lieutenant Colonel Clark Marshall in his office. The Colonel and J.J. engage in a discussion about her transfer to this outpost, following the resolution of a high-profile case. As she settles into a modest cubicle, she discovers a banner mocking her and remembers some obscure details about it. Suddenly, the colonel knocks on the door and requests to come in. The situation heats up and the interceptor is no longer secure. Later, in response to a distress signal triggered by the aggressive seizure of Fort Greely, the colonel summons J.J., collaborates with Baker and Corporal Rahul Shah in the command center of the station, where they keep a vigilant eye on the live radar tracking a Russian attack submarine. As Beaver brushes it off as a mere drill, J.J. intercepts an NSA broadcast revealing an assault on the Tavlinka ICBM station, where 16 Topol-M nuclear warheads have been captured. They initially brush it off as a prank, but a video unveils the realization of their worst fears. The footage depicts the theft of the 16 missiles. She departs with the captain and is informed that the fate of everything now rests on their shoulders. Her suspicions are validated when they come under fire from 3 intruders. In the ensuing chaos, she inadvertently strikes the colonel in the head while neutralizing each assailant. However, a burly man intercepts her, leading to a fierce struggle. The large man launches an attack on her without sustaining any injuries, but ultimately, the captain succeeds in shooting and eliminating the man. She vacates the premises. Beaver, one of the technicians, is reportedly unconscious but miraculously survives. One of the invaders, stationed outside the main control room, approaches the captain to seek entry permission. The antagonist of the story is Alexander Kessel, an American who is acting against his fellow countrymen. He proposes to the captain to take over the control room and assures them that their lives will be spared. However, the captain responds by stating that this is not the way the military functions. Unexpectedly, 2 of Alexander's associates show up with a device designed to forcefully break open the door. The captain, suspecting that the intruders were inadvertently let in by the military, inquires with the technician about the janitors they had hired, which he assumes to be 7 in number. As they are on the move, an urgent call is received. The caller informs them that the colonel has departed and 6 to 7 intruders, who are masquerading as janitors, have seized control of the ship. The ship's crew and the marshal have been captured. They proceed to take over the primary command center using blowtorches. She predicts that it will take less than 30 minutes to breach the door. They lay out the entire situation and disclose that a team of SEALs is on their way, but their arrival will take approximately 90 minutes. The responsibility lies heavily on them because, as the president clarifies, 16 missiles will be fired the moment they lose control of the interceptor. The captain and the technicians are tasked with the mission to save everyone who is relying on them. The SEALs are currently heading towards the interceptor. The situation is causing the technician to panic. An intruder confronts her, threatening to kill a hostage unless she opens the door. Despite the threat, she stands firm in her decision not to risk millions of lives for one individual. As expected, the inevitable happens. The situation is escalating. Shaw's anxiety escalates, but the captain provides him with reassurance and helps him calm down. They recognize the need to come up with various strategies to prevent unauthorized individuals from entering the control room. To their surprise, a man initiates a fierce confrontation with the captain, reminiscent of a street battle. After a prolonged struggle, she manages to kill him. Despite having only a few weapons at their disposal, they feel powerless in the face of the situation. Once they dispose of the deceased man's body outside, they resume their duties. They monitor the surveillance cameras, which reveal multiple lifeless bodies. The intruder asserts that he has additional men on their way, but the captain doesn't believe his claim and sees it as a bluff. She assures him that she is unbeatable and impossible to defeat. He discloses that he has extensively researched her background and is aware of her promotion to a 3-star general 3 years ago, a position she had aspired to. The high-ranking officer proposed a promotion to the highest position, but with a specific condition attached. The captain rejected his offer, which resulted in her receiving hateful letters and emails containing disturbing photos of herself. To make matters worse, One night, she returned home to find it completely devastated. Feeling overwhelmed by the circumstances, she attempted suicide, but her father intervened and saved her. Alexander argues that this incident is evidence that she can be defeated. However, she disagrees and asserts that since she emerged from the ordeal wearing the same attire, no one can hinder her or claim victory over her. Nevertheless, Alexander forcefully enters the room, despite Beaver shooting both the captain and Shaw in the chest and allowing the intruders to enter the control room. She steadfastly refuses to open the main entrance. Despite her plea, Alexander refuses to take her out of the situation. In a pivotal moment, Beaver reveals his true identity to both of them and expresses his deep fury towards them and their work. The captain delivers a powerful blow to Beaver's head, incapacitating him. They contact the government to inform them that their fellow citizens have been taken hostage. In a desperate attempt to raise awareness, they broadcast an emergency message to the entire nation, exposing the gravity of the situation. Surprisingly, Alexander emerges as the mastermind behind the primary interceptor and reveals himself to be the son of a billionaire. He proceeds to launch a missile, issuing a chilling warning that it will reach Los Angeles in just 10 minutes. He further threatens that an additional 15 missiles are poised to strike other locations. During this unsettling revelation, Alexander introduces Shaw to the public and physically assaults a man who speaks ill of him. Continuing his campaign to publicly humiliate the captain, Alexander divulges information about past captains, tarnishing their reputations. Despite this, the captain manages to break free from her restraints and launches a fierce attack on Alexander, coming close to killing him. However, her gun runs out of ammunition at a critical moment. As the captain and the intruder engage in a life-or-death struggle, a missile draws nearer to their location. In a race against time, she ultimately presses the launch button for an interceptor missile. The intruder tries to mount another attack on the captain, but fails to succeed. Despite being alive, the captain finds herself disarmed and held captive by her own rifle. Beaver and Alexander engage in a heated argument over the failure of their initial plan, but Alexander confidently reveals that he has alternate strategies in place. During a conversation with the president, she discovers that Alexander is an expert in his field and likely possesses unstable tendencies. Faced with this information, she decides to release him and takes a moment to rest. As she rests, she has a vivid dream in which her father appears to care for her. The dream triggers a childhood memory in which her father imparts the message to never give up the fight. Just as she awakens from her dream, Shaw, the companion, regains consciousness. Alexander proceeds to show her a distressing video, showcasing the captain's father being held hostage. In the footage, Alexander not only discusses the captain's personal life, but also belittles her father for his perceived foolishness. The captain pleads with Alexander to allow her to speak with her father, only to learn that her father had never ceased his own battles and tragically lost his life. This revelation exposes her vulnerability. With calculated intent, Alexander initiates a protocol on his laptop to submerge the entire interceptor. The countdown for the procedure commences, giving them only 1 minute before the consequences unfold. They have a limited window of 13 minutes before the interceptor vessel submerges entirely into the water. Shaw takes a daring dive into the ocean to manually intervene and halt the sinking process. Meanwhile, a group of SEALs approaches the scene. Shaw, following the instructions displayed on a console, diligently carries out the protocol to extend their time and delay the complete submersion of the vessel. While Shaw is focused on his critical task, he is unexpectedly killed by his own colleague, Beaver. The captain discovers that Alexander's motives were driven by financial gain. In response, she warns Alexander to cease the live feed, or else she will expose his bank account details to the world, jeopardizing his ill-gotten wealth. Due to the obstructed door and window, Alexander is unable to see what transpires inside the vessel. Taking advantage of this, the captain devises a plan. She proposes relinquishing control of the command center temporarily, allowing the missiles to be launched prematurely before the center's defensive measures can take effect. Her intention is to then swiftly reclaim control and intercept the missiles, preventing widespread destruction. Despite facing incredibly slim odds of only 14% for success, the captain remains steadfast in her determination to prevail. Alex becomes increasingly agitated as his visibility diminishes, causing him to panic. However, when Beaver enters the room, the captain allows everyone to witness the control room as her plan unfolds. The missiles are launched according to her instructions. Beaver follows Alex's directives, attempting to kill the captain by tampering with the latter. Meanwhile, As he searches for her on the roof, an unexpected obstacle arises. The Interceptor launch button is covered in acid, rendering it unusable. After Beaver's unsuccessful search on the roof, Alex speculates that the captain may have sought refuge in the refrigerator, but his assumption proves incorrect. As they continue their search, the captain suddenly strikes from behind, killing one of them while Alex flees in fear. However, she is unable to intercept the incoming missiles as the launch key has been destroyed. Undeterred, she ascends the ladder to manually carry out the task on the roof. Beaver attempts to take her hostage, but she fiercely fights back. Overpowering him, she knocks him to the ground, and in the ensuing struggle, she falls into the water. Despite being in a dire situation where she is on the verge of drowning, she summons the strength to save herself by drawing inspiration from thoughts of her father. With determination in her eyes, she enters the control room using only one functioning hand, and against all odds, she tackles each seemingly impossible task that stands in her way. Battling exhaustion, she musters the energy to climb back onto the roof. After a fierce and grueling struggle, she successfully launches the Interceptor just in the nick of time, effectively neutralizing every incoming missile. The entire nation erupts in jubilation, celebrating her heroic achievement. In a moment of arrogance, Alex approaches the roof and derides her for thwarting his plans. However, she retaliates and delivers a powerful blow, knocking Alex to the ground. Yet, before she can fully process her victory, the arrival of Captain changes the dynamic. Taking matters into his own hands, Captain eliminates Alex, ensuring justice is served. With his mission complete, Captain bids farewell and departs after paying his respects. Following her liberation from the perilous location, she finds herself in a hospital where she encounters the president. To her immense relief, she learns that her father has been saved. In recognition of her extraordinary bravery and accomplishments, she is bestowed with the most significant promotion in history. As a token of remembrance, she is presented with a small turtle that once belonged to the late Corporal Shaw. Additionally, she is showered with numerous flowers, symbolizing admiration and appreciation. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.